Today we will be showing you how to install 5V metal roofing for an A-frame style structure. You can start with the drip edge assembly. Start by locating the drip edge and aligning it with the edge of the fascia board. Fasten the drip edge to the fascia board using 3/4 inch stainless steel screws. Continue across, spaced every 24 inches. Measure the remaining distance, and with that measurement, mark the drip edge. Cut the drip edge where you put your mark, and using the previous steps, install the remaining drip edge. Snap a line all the way across the drip edge at the bottom in order to determine where the bottom of each panel will be placed. You can now move on to the 5V metal assembly. Place the first panel of the roof and align it with the line you made at the bottom. Refer to the manual to ensure the piece is positioned correctly, with one side being designed to being overlapped. Install the panel with 4 hex screws on the bottoms and tops of each panel as shown. Overlap the next panel over the first panel you installed and repeat this process until you get to the other edge of the roof. Measure the remaining space on the roof, and with that measurement, cut the final piece accordingly, leaving an additional 3/4 of an inch to be bent up at the edge of the roof to divert water away from the edge. Measure and mark the roof to determine where to install the remaining hex screws evenly. Recommended spacing should be approximately every 2 feet. Install the hex screws on the panels as shown. The screws should be positioned near the rib towards the edge with the overlap. You can now move on to the rake trim assembly. Locate the rake trim. Place the rake trim against the face rafter and over the bent edge of the metal. Use a speed square to make your marks for cutting the face and top of the rake trim. Cut the top square with the back side of the roof. Align the bottom of the rake trim with the edge of the drip edge. Mark the rake trim as shown in the manual and ensure the bottom is flush with the drip edge. Cut the rake trim where you made your marks. Face screw the rake trim to the face rafter using 1-inch painted hex screws every 24 inches. Attach the rake trim to the roof with hex screws as shown. You can now move on to the ridge cap assembly. Install the adhesive stripping across the ridge on both sides. Make sure to place it accordingly so that it doesn't protrude past the ridge cap. Place the ridge cap over the ridge and install the hex screws into the metal below.